Hello my little goblins, we're back at it again, and this time we're doing the video a little different just because how this archetype is. So we're talking about the Ishizu cards, which if you guys don't know, it's Keldo, Medora, Kelbeck, and Yugioh. So the powerful thing about these cards is Yugioh and Kelbeck, when they're sent to the graveyard from the hand or deck, they mill 5 cards from your deck. Right? So that's a very powerful thing, right? And it just mills your deck and it mills your opponent's deck. Okay? And Medora and Keldo, they both have quick effects where you can target 3 cards in any graveyard and return them back to the owner's deck. So both those those effects are very, very powerful. Obviously, the one sending stuff to the graveyard, if you have a deck built around it, it's a very, very powerful effect, because think about it, the people go into Chaos Ruler just to get an effect like that off. So you can imagine how good of an effect that is. So we're gonna do it a little different today. Instead of just focusing on one deck, I'm just gonna go over 2 decks that I like the most so far. But the archetype is very splashable. I'm gonna say that right off the bat. You can play this in a lot of decks. It's like a very small engine. You play, what is it, 2, 4, 6, 9 cards. It's 9 cards, and you can throw it into so many different engines. And we do have, I am working on a somewhat like purish version. I just don't see how it works, to be completely honest. I've seen some people try the mill route, and that just sounds horrific. Sounds really bad. I tried some games with it and it was just horrible, so we might go to square one on that. So today we're going to go over Zombie Ishizu, and we're also going to go over what I think is one of the better versions of the Ishizu decks. Alright, but first we're going to go over Zombie Ishizu. This is what we got so far. The deck list will be listed down below. If you guys have any questions, let me know down in the comments. We're going to get into some games with this, and then we're going to go into the deck I was talking about that I think is really cool, so stay tuned for that. Alright, let's go. Hello, we're here with game number 1 with the zombie deck, and we have a pretty good hand. We're going to go into Unizombie. Now, this hand doesn't look as good as you think it is, but it's actually a really funny hand, because this is what we're going to be able to do. We set up Zombie World, because Zombie World is automatic, because it shuts down a lot of decks. Then we're going to activate Keldo's effect. And Keldo's effect, remember, Keldo's the better effect out of the 2, which is why it's limited to 2. Because it lets you search for any other, pretty much any other card. So we search for Kelbeck, because we're going to be sending it to the graveyard with Unizombie. This is actually just a funny match. I thought this was hilarious. So we end up milling, this is what we end up milling. Kelbeck goes to the graveyard. Remember, Medora and Keldo can activate their effect whenever. So I already have 2, like, a disruption for our opponent. And then we milled a Mizuki, and we milled a Hikaru and a Conquistador. I have a Conquistador in hand, and then we milled another Agato, right? And the opponent scoops, and you couldn't see what the opponent was playing, but he was playing Mathmech, and I'm going to tell you right now, Mathmech is going to get absolutely bodied by this. So you don't even realize what we had for plays, but we could have literally brought back Doom King Baldarok, and then use Plague Spreader Zombie, bring that back. Go into either our Red Eye Zombie Drake, or we could have gone into the Fell Sworn Drake, the banished card in his graveyard. But yeah, he's playing Mathmech. Mathmech's they're gonna have a hard time against this, because we have 3 cards literally that we can send 9 cards in his graveyard back to his deck. So yeah, you can say, okay, Kelbeck helps him out, but it actually doesn't help him out that much. Because you have to remember that there are cards that he doesn't want milled. And then when it comes to us, pretty much our whole deck is based on all these cards are good getting milled, besides I guess the hand traps. But I don't know. I thought this was going to be a bloodbath. I just wanted to show this because I've never seen a Math Spec player quit this quickly in ranked before. So, yeah, thought it was funny. Let's get to the next one. All right, we're here with game number 2 against Hansel. Our hand is okay. It's not the craziest, but if we got ashed, we would have been in trouble here. That's why I said it was okay. So we set up Zombie World. We send Doom King Baldurek to the graveyard. We set a card. It's literally the best we could do right now. It's really not that good. Honestly, we probably should have... I'm like always like semi against sending Hakiro to the graveyard. And the only reason why is because if we end up top decking Eldritch, we need a trap to like... We need something to send it to the graveyard. I guess we have units on me anyway, but... We negate... I literally have no idea what this guy Hansel was thinking. He plays Alistar the Invoker. It just gets negated because Zombie World. Could have banished it. See, this is hindsight. And we're playing against someone who's also playing There Can Only Be One. You know what? This guy is not the only Alistar player I was playing against. I think there's a lot of people playing like maybe Shaddoll Alistar or something with these new Medora cards. Which I think is kind of weird because Alistar, the Medora cards are Earth. I guess it's not that weird because you discard cards from your hand. That triggers the Kelback and stuff. So I guess it works out fine. So yeah, he goes into Shaddoll Al Capone. And this is interesting here. By the way, I don't understand... Oh, wait, never mind. I do understand. Because I can't react to it because of Magical Meltdown. I was like, why can I react to this? But it's because of Magical Meltdown. Alright, so he's going to summon Shaddoll Beast. I'm drawing a few cards. Drew like 2 cards here, I think. I have Keldo in hand. So our opponent's fucked. Our opponent's fucked because we have Elixir here. We're going to pretty much discard. We're going to get rid of There Can Only Be One. And when we use the Eldritch effect, since it's a zombie, we use Doom King Baldurek to banish Al Capone so he can't get Schism out of the deck. Because this is how they get Schism. Honestly, if he was smart, if he was a smart player, he would have went into combat and he would have attacked right into my Doom King and killed his own card so he can get Schism, so he can lock the board down a bit more. It would have been a really tough choice with the Eldritch what to do at that point. I think you probably always hit There Can Only Be One, though. But this is going to really bone him. He's going to be in a really fucking tough place here. Because now we have Eldritch. We have Scarlet Sanguine in there. Yeah, he just concedes. Doesn't want the smoke. I swear to God, ranked people, a lot of crybabies on it. Hello, we are here with game number 3. There's the last game before we start with the Shaddoll stuff. We'll go over the deck list and see some stuff. I'm going to have a more dedicated video to Shaddoll Ishizu. I kind of want to craft the other cards first before I do that to have it more legit. I just wanted to like do like the archetype is so splashable. My hand is so juicy. Oh my gosh, my hand is juicy. Oh my goodness. I'm about to bust a nut. I have no idea. Dude, these cards, the Ishizu cards are just so nice, though. See, our opponent's playing Ishizu, too. If our opponent's smart, though, like, if our opponent's smart, he holds his Keldo. Because I have a lot of cards here that, like, well, just to give you an idea, like, activate Mizuki. Or he actually, he activates it now just to get rid of Mizuki. I don't know. It's so juicy, though, when you... It's so juicy just to chain it, you know what I mean? Like, I activate Mizuki, and then he just chains on the targets I'm picking. You know what I mean? So juicy doing that. So, I don't know. Okay, so we summon our Doom King. So right now with Doom King, I don't want it going to the graveyard. I see he has the Keldo. I'm actually... He has to chain Keldo here, because if he doesn't, Doom King just banishes it. So, he has to chain Keldo here. Like I said, he's going to get rid of all my juicy cards. I mean, the good thing is, getting rid of the Eldritch was kind of stupid. Because I have 2 Conquistadors that are just going to become Sanguins, so... Sanguins. Not Sanguins, the 1,000-tack gremlin. Alright, so we end up getting Mazara, which is a very good grab. So if you guys don't know, Mazara protects all zombie cards. So if he has something that like pops my cards, I can just use this and it actually protects everything. Because I have zombie world, so everything's a zombie anyway. So we end up drawing a card, draw another Sanguine. And our opponent's playing evenly matched. So you might say this is a lunatic play that I'm doing here because I'm just adding 1 extra card to the board. But I'm going to have to banish these cards anyway, right? And I look at it as I can hit his Welcome Labyrinth in the graveyard. And I kind of just want to get him off of that. Because that card can keep coming back. I don't know if you guys ever played against this deck. They can keep recycling it. It's pretty annoying. So we drop Keldo. We're going to send some of his cards back into the deck so he can't recycle. And then he's going to play Torrential Tribute. We have the Mazara, which protects our entire board. Because remember, this is now, it's not a fairy anymore, it's a zombie. And he just concedes. And it is GG! That's kind of how the deck plays. But we'll talk more about this deck and then the other deck in the recap. So guys, here we are at it again. And this is what I was talking about. I actually think Shaddoll is probably going to be one of the better versions of this deck. I don't think it's going to, like, it's really hard to tell what's going to be the best version of this deck for right now. Obviously, when tier elements come in, it's going to be a crazy factory. But for right now, I think this is probably going to be a very powerful version of the deck. Because when you mill, like Shaddoll just lives for the mill. And the great thing about Shaddoll, too, is if you're running Ariel and your opponent is also playing the Ishizu cards, and they mill your Ariel, guess what? Now you can start nuking cards in their graveyard. Because they're on the same strategy as you, trying to send the cards to the graveyard, do other things. And now Ariel banishes some cards from them. And then you can also recycle the Ariels back in your deck if you're trying to do that type of game plan. It creates some pretty interesting games. Plus, we're playing Branded. Very, very powerful. Just looking at the deck, a lot of powerful things going on here. I will recommend that this deck doesn't go too hard into the Branded. So it's more into the Shaddoll than Branded. So what I would do, I would cut a Albion and a Mirror Jade and add 1 Winda and a Construct. I didn't have the stuff to craft an extra Construct and Winda. And I also want to give credit, someone in the Discord, Spiffy. He actually gave me this list, and I decided to try it out, and it's been working pretty good so far. So, pretty interesting. We're going to go into some games, and then at the end of the games, we're going to do a recap for both decks. I'll let you know how they are. Alright. Hello, guys. This is game number 1, and this was... I had a game number 1 before this. But, like, after, like, reviewing it, I was kind of, like, in my mind, I was like, I'm not going to show this. It was kind of boring. Wasn't interesting. Didn't really show the deck, so... I just decided I'm just going to cut that part out. It is what it is. It was more of, like, just me grass is greener. Like, I played grass is greener, and my opponent just got absolutely steamrolled. I feel like it doesn't really showcase the deck that much. You know what? Maybe it does, though. You know what? This might be game number 2. You'll guys find out in the edit if I keep it or not. So he plays Anti-Spell Fragrance. We're actually doing pretty good against him so far, but we're kind of fucked. But we're not fucked because we have Herald. So Herald of the Orange Light is an amazing card with these Shaddoll cards. I mean, with the these fairy cards, because it sends it to the graveyard. And then I get the free mill. So I get a negate and I get the mill too. And now look at all these Shaddoll effects I get. That's a juicer, dude. That's getting juiced. I don't know why I keep saying juicer. I think that's an XQC thing. I'm pretty sure it is. I don't mean to say it. I forget where I heard it. I might have been watching Hikaru, which is the chess guy, and he says it a lot too. Okay. I'm not sure why he put that back. That's a really good card. I think he's looking for specifically Martha, but he can't even play his own packs. He can't even play his own packs because of anti-spell fragrance. GG, again, I'll play by your own cards. That's what you get for being a scumbag. So you might be saying, hey, Fatzoid, there is no shot in hell you win this. You're playing a graveyard deck. He plays Macrocosmos. You're under anti-spell fragrance. And he's got 2 face down. 1 is a Pax. You know it's a Pax. So first things first, we draw 2. We send Reasoning. Aliber is going to grab our Theater. We're going to activate Shaddoll Fusion to go into Al Capone. Al Capone's going to use his effect to negate the anti-spell fragrance. And then we're going to do something wacky. And we're going to get rid of 3 of our cards to go into Guardian Chimera. He activates Vados. I have to Ash it. But in retrospect, I actually should not have Ashed it. So this is bad, because I know he has packs. I should have waited for packs. But honestly, from this position, I'm thinking like so far ahead. I'm like, there's no shot, even if he has Martha, that he wins this game. Like we have this in the bag now. Because we got Chimera, pop. We leave anti, because this is like permanently negated. Alright? Because then we go into Verte. Al Capone grabs our Schism. We pop the last... we didn't even need to pop it, but we pop it. And then we go into Mirror Jade Dragon. And we also have Schism. Which, honestly, I probably should have immediately went into Window when he played this. But I didn't, because I wanted to be a cheeky bitch and just fucking hurt his feelings. But, like, ideally, if you're playing this more seriously, you probably want to just go straight into Window. Because if you go into Window... I also am greedy. I wanted to get the, like... I don't know. I wanted to get the Banish effect from the Schism. Like, maybe go into Construct, get rid of his card. Because, I mean, he needs 2 level 4s. So if I keep him off of 2 level 4s... it should be pretty fine. Which is, like, kind of easy. Because if you've seen his first play, he went into double Stella. Like, what's the chances he has a 3rd Stella in hand? Probably pretty low. So, I don't know. And he only had, like, 2-3 cards in hand. So, I don't know. Either way, probably go into Window. Don't do what I did. Hello, and thank you for watching this far. This is the recap, and I appreciate it. But can you please subscribe? Come on. I stood up all night to do this. Come on, just do it. Subscribe down below. And also, turn on that notification bell. Join our Discord. Discord links down below. Discord's popping. It's sick. You can theory craft decks. That's how I got this deck. Isn't that cool? Neato. But yeah, let's talk about both the decks. The zombie deck performed pretty good. The zombie deck performed worse than I thought it would. I thought it would perform a lot better. But, like, I just feel like the end boards weren't, like, anything game-breaking. And I also found that with the zombie deck, you actually get hurt more by your own archetype. So, like when you're milling these cards, if your opponent's playing these cards too, it hurts you way more than this. Because with the Shaddolls, right? If Wendy goes to the graveyard and this goes to the graveyard, that goes, like, I get the effects. The effects happen anyway. So if my opponent ends up trying to, he can't, if he chains something to, like, send Wendy back, Wendy's effect still happens. So that's kind of what I mean. That's what I mean when I say that. Another thing too is, I know we're running Diviner the Herald. Diviner Herald's pretty much in here to be able to send, you can send the cards to the graveyard. You know what I mean? I'm, like, debating whether or not, like, is Herald, like, that worth it? I don't know. See, Herald would be nice. Like, I feel like for us to run Herald, we have to run Elder Entity too, just because it could also be a pop. Because Elder Entity is a fairy. Another thing with Herald too, it also is a lot better if we're running like Baron or something like that. Like something that we can actually go have a payoff for. So I'm like, and plus Diviner is also like our normal summon. And a lot of the times you probably want to be normal summoning something else. So I don't know. Diviner is good though. It's a really good card. So I'm debating on it. But yeah, let's talk about the zombie still. The zombie deck performed pretty good. I'd probably say around like 50-60% win rate. It definitely needs a lot of tweaking still. This deck performed a lot better. We won most of our games with this deck. And the one card I would say is a little awkward with the deck is Reasoning. Honestly, Reasoning might be a little better in the zombie deck if we went more of an Eldritch route. But I'm telling you right now, Reasoning was like super like a lot of the times it didn't even mill anything. It was just like, okay, next card gets summoned. And a lot of times our opponent was guessing 4. And we have a lot of 4s in the deck now because all these Ishizu cards are 4s. So I don't know. This deck still performs really good. I mean, I kind of expected it to, though, because we're playing Branded with Shaddoll, and Shaddoll's a pretty decent archetype. And we're just throwing in some support that really just doesn't hurt the deck at all. Kind of just helps it at all. There's no point in where this hurts the deck. You know what I mean? If anything, it just helps it. Because, one of the crazy things too about like these cards is if you guys hate Call by the Grave, these cards are amazing against Call by the Grave. So just to give you an idea, like, all right, you play, let's say you maxi your opponent. Let's say you went first, you did your whole combo, right? And then on your opponent's turn, you maxi them, right? Like, this is what's so tilting about this game. Like, you maxi your opponent, and people think maxi is still fine, right? You maxi your opponent, they Call by the Grave it. Like, oh, I got an answer. Dude, all you have to do is activate Keldo's effect, or Mordora's effect, and shuffle your maxi back into your deck, and he has no targets anymore. Like, you literally just, it's another way. You thought Sprite Elf was annoying? This shit is way more... It's probably just as splashable. You know what I mean? It's really annoying. So, if you hate Call by the Grave, this deck is going to be hilarious. Because you get to dodge them all. The sad thing is, we're not playing Max C. Maybe we should just plug Max C somewhere in the deck. But the thing is, with a 60-card deck, you can't reliably get Max C. Also... I think Left Arm Offering might not be a horrible choice either. Like, maybe replace some of these Reasonings with Left Arm Offering. Because, like, I'm thinking, like, dude, if we get Grass off, like, a lot of these games are GG. The only problem is I feel like there might be a little more 60-card piles out there. And if you run into other 60-card piles, it's going to be kind of a dead card. You're going to have like 5 dead cards in your deck, where Reasoning's still like kind of like an okay card. You know? I don't know. Maybe put it in another Snow or something. Snow, because Snow is really good, especially if you're playing Grass. But sometimes getting 2 Snows in the graveyard is just awkward. You know? So, on a scale, so I'm going to rate the Ishizu cards, okay? I'll rate the decks and I'll rate the Ishizu cards. Scale of 1 to 10, right? First, zombie deck. I'm going to rate it a 7. It was alright. It was fun. Shaddoll deck. The Shaddoll branded deck. I'm going to rate it in 7.58. It was good, but I feel like these decks need tweaking, right? Because we're kind of going to unprecedented territory. We never had a Ishizu without Tearlament. No one really made like a pure Ishizu deck or really played with the Ishizu cards until Tearlament. I mean, who knows? Probably Sprite Ishizu is probably gonna be really good too. I don't know. I haven't played, like, the cards just came out, so I haven't really play tested much with them. The Ishizu cards in general. I think the Ishizu cards in general in this current meta is probably like an 8.5 because you have Runic, you have Sprite. There's a lot of decks that hits, and they hit them good. They hit them where it hurts. So I'm going to give them an 8.5 just because of how splashable they are. You can throw them in a lot of different decks, and I think you'll be happy with them. So yeah, I think 8.5 solid. Tier. I'm not going to speak about the tiers for these decks because, like I said, these are kind of like starter decks. These are kind of get your wheels turning. You can definitely build them if you have the cards, but whatever. Would I recommend you to build them? If you have to build a lot of these cards, I wouldn't recommend it. I'd wait until maybe a tournament or two passes from Master Duel meta, and you could see how other people are using these cards, or see like if these people like theory crafted a fix or something. But yeah, I think this is gonna be a good change up to the meta. But I will tell you right now, the mirrors, oh my gosh, are so annoying. Like when you're playing against other people using this archetype, shit is so annoying to play against. Because you're all like, I'm going to use my Ishizu cards first. Nope, I'm going to use mine. I milled 5 cards. Oop, I milled some of your Ishizu cards. Now we mill 5 again. Oh, we mill 5 again. Oh, we mill 5 again. Now we're going to play for deck out, or are we going to play for tempo? Because, you know, you either play to shuffle your own cards back into your deck at that point, or you're trying to snipe your opponent's key combo pieces or key puzzle pieces, you know what I mean? To make sure they're off their game plan. But then again, if they have the cards already in their hand, you're kind of fucked. So, I don't know. I still think the Shaddolls are going to be very good, though. So, if you're a fan of Shaddolls, this is a great archetype for you. It really just slides right into the deck list real easy. It's like having a Chaos Ruler without ever having to build one, you know? And Shaddoll, I can tell you right now, Shaddoll would love to have a Chaos Ruler. So, you're going to be happy with them. I would say, oh, by the way, for the pack, last thing I'm going to say, for the pack, dude, the pack sucks ass. So, unless you want to get some shit Crystal Beast cards like I did, dude, just craft the cards. I don't know, dude. Just craft the cards. I know it's 4 ultra rares, but that's better than getting the pack, dude. The pack sucks. Ugh. You see this right here? This is what you're gonna get. You're gonna get a rainbow dragon. Maybe you want a rainbow dragon, though. I don't know. But, alright. I hope you guys had fun. Goodbye.